Last time, we started all over again, and now we're on our search for our first diamond. Good day, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Lakbay. My name is 134, and I hope you have a good time today. As mentioned, we have just started another world here in our series. We have made our first little platform here, first farm, and we've gathered our first resources in this world as well. But we have once again run out, so we will once again run into the mines, dig as deep as we can, and hopefully find ourselves our first diamond. But now that we have survived our first few nights, I think it is time for us to take down this little makeshift shelter of ours. The way I'm gonna do this is that I'm gonna take down the wooden parts, like so, but I'm gonna replace them in the floor over here because I want to remember this location specifically. I want this to become a sort of marker for the first real structure I built in this world. So I'm gonna continue with that, and then the furnaces and chests will probably be taken out since they don't really contain anything right now. But I will leave this crafting table over here since, as far as I know, this is the first one I have made in this series. Meanwhile, this chest with my first few tools will probably stay here as well. I might make a similar treasure building to the one I made last time, but I'm not quite sure yet what my plans are for that, for this world. You know what? Let's also put a glass covering on this. I'm not gonna put it over the chest just so I could still open it. I'm gonna put it around here just so we could still have that covering on the thing. So we can still access the chest, access the crafting table, keep that torch over there. I could put one more glass at the back there, but I'll keep that there for now. Somehow there are still skeletons in this area, despite me absolutely covering the whole area in torches, but this is why we need more coal. This is why we're not quite done with our spawn proofing of our area here. Where did that guy come from? Oh, this area is still very dark. Okay. Back into the mines then. With our mine we built our last episode. Immediately though this looks like a cave, I will need to explore at some point. What do we see? If I could just find a little bit of coal with my two torches, that would be amazing. Here, Skelly. Once again out of torches though. Just need a little bit of coal. Gosh. Having to conserve my torches, which is not fun. There we go. Finally. Can go back and light up the other areas as well. Okay, feeling a bit more comfortable again with how much light we have for ourselves. Almost died. not yet deep enough for a diamond, but getting some very cool resources here. Especially this iron. Very, very useful. Have a bit more food now, going in a bit deeper now. Alright, we have our first redstone ore. That tells me at least one thing, that we are deep enough for our first diamond as well. Now, as we get this redstone, we are able now to unlock a few more things we can build. I'm thinking of making a compass, which is the new thing in this version of Minecraft. But also, we are now able to unlock more things we could do. We could now make new mechanisms, etc. So that is really, really cool. And so we have reached the bedrock level. These are our first blocks of bedrock, which are, of course, unbreakable, as far as I know at least. But that also means that we are close to the bottom of the world and close to where we could find the most diamonds. And I could just start digging right now, but my inventory is almost full, so I'm gonna go back up for now and deposit some of this material just so I can have enough space for whatever else we would now get. As I return here, I better put some of this redstone there. Also cut down some of the trees over here. Before we go down, let's do that compass we had mentioned before. If I remember correctly, that's made using iron and redstone. So I'm gonna pick up some of the iron we got from earlier. We're gonna smelt that into iron ingots, which we can then surround our redstone with. As far as I know, we only need 4, so let's wait for this iron to smelt. With our iron done smelting, we can now make our compass. So, as far as I know, it's redstone, surrounded by iron, and here we have our compass. Now what this is supposed to do is to point towards our spawn point, which would be right around here if I remember correctly. So we can just go straight. So we can just go straight towards here, perhaps here, and then as soon as it starts pointing in the weird direction, then that's when we know we are in the right place. Yep. We'll be right around here, I would say. Here, perhaps. Yeah, right around here, I would say. So we could perhaps put a marker around here for our world spawn. We can of course make that fancier later, but not now. And with that, I would say that once we're able to get our diamond, then we have actually finished all of the new stuff. There's not much really for Alpha 1.1.0. That's pretty amazing in my eyes. It feels like we have such a good start. So let's go on back into the mines. So far, I'm just digging a tunnel, and I might widen the room around there just so we have some storage. Got got a bit of iron, but I do hear some mobs around me. So maybe we'll find them as we keep digging here. And here we go. Here we have our first lava. Okay, so we know lava is over here, right? So we need to go above that. Here we go. So then, now all we have to do now is to dig this way, back to our main room. Ooh, we have our first gold as well. Amazing. Pick that up. We have barely enough space now. So if I'm not able to go back to my original ladder, then I'll just have to walk all the way back over there, take the U-turn, then go back that way. And we're back. Amazing. So what I'm gonna do here is to do that so that we have an easy way back onto the ladder, back out to deposit some more of the goodies we got. Well, I didn't know this was here. Better pick that up before I forget that that's there. And I need to include it with the rest of my iron. Pretty sure I used that for a pick and a bucket, but if I had extras, then that would be even more amazing. Okay, back into the deep. Back towards our quest for diamond. Okay, for some reason I got burned by the lava as I come up here, so I'll do this perhaps. To prevent myself from getting burned again. I need to remember that that's there. And I will need to heal again before I continue my dig. And I'm almost dead already. That's not great. But I do have some extra wheat that I can use for food. But definitely did not prepare the armor for this. I'm pretty sure I haven't made any armor in this series or in this season yet. So let's go do that. So that, and our leggings as well. There. Just so we're slightly more protected. We really don't have much leather, do we? Then that might be all we need, but let's make a separate a few extra swords as well. It's definitely showing how not prepared I am for this. Anyway, let's go back. How do we get down though? Even that makes things easier. Really hoping that we are near the end of this cave, so we can go back to digging for diamonds. Oops. You know what? I'm gonna call it here. I'm gonna start walking back to our tunnel, because I do want to prioritize that diamond. I do have enough ores now to last me for a slight bit, so I feel like I'm not rushing too much towards more resources. That said, if I do want to go back, I know I can based on the way I have placed my torches. I should be able to find my way back to these yet unexplored caves. There you go. So technically you could just keep going in this direction instead. Looks like we have found another lava lake. So you shall once again use our bucket here to spread out some obsidian. We'll get the lava at some point later, if it remains. And here we have it, our first few diamonds. I almost forgot to react to them. Amazing. So let's see whether we have any around them. Alright. Tempted to leave one of these behind. I will leave one of these behind after all. Maybe this one or this one. Which one do we leave behind as our first diamond ore? Let's leave this one behind. Amazing. So we can now safely retire this one as well as you move on toward a diamond pick. But I will keep making iron picks for now, for picking up redstone and gold, etc. And only use my diamond pick for obsidian. Now, I would say that was pretty successful. Now it's time for us to go back and take stock of everything that we have collected so far. And so, this is the total of what we got in these mining sessions. The gravel, most of it is from previous sessions, but we have lots of stone now, some iron, some gold, a bit of dirt, enough gold to last us for a bit more, our armor from this session, but also this redstone and diamonds. These are the most important things we've gotten from this session. And so we will now bring this back all the way to our main storage over there. We'll probably keep some of the extra stone here and most of this gravel, but we will definitely keep the most important stuff from this haul. And of course, we have to drop off our diamond and our iron pick that we used to get that diamond. I'll drop by again later to drop off the leather armor as well got during this expedition. As mentioned, dropping off our leather armor. And we're going to be dropping off the rest as well. Now, as we do this, I want to talk a bit about how we're going to approach this series. I probably won't have very specific goals that are too in line with the new stuff in each update, but I'm still quite interested in involving all of the new stuff in each update. I still want to make sure that I am experiencing the game as fully as I can. I'm experiencing every part of the game in terms of farming, in terms of building, in terms of redstone and technical stuff as well. To explore the different aesthetics of the game as time goes on. I'm definitely interested in all that. Now, that means that there'll be a lot of experimentation as we go through this game. There'll be a lot of trial and error, a lot of thinking about how best to do stuff as we go on. And there'll probably be a lot of changes to these builds, and I would have to think about the balance between keeping them as they were at the start, but also making sure that everything is still as functional, as good looking as they can be as time goes on. Anyway, I am looking forward to adding more and more stuff to our base over here and exploring the many aspects many features and the uncountable, really, to me, number of blocks in this nearly 50-year-old game. Well, for now, since we have now our compass and our diamond, I feel like we have done enough to move forward to the next version of Minecraft. Well, this has been 13.4, and if you want to see more, please do feel free to subscribe. But for now, the grind continues. Goodbye, everyone.